Hello and God bless you. This is Ellen Mongan and welcome to Wow Mom. Today I have a surprise for you. I always do. I love surprises and I always check, I look at my corner to make sure it's recording. So I was going to do this twice. But today I'm all dressed up like what would y'all guess? A beauty queen. I'm going to take this off because it's warm in here because we have Miss Augusta Quinn Shelt. And Quinn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here and do this with you.
Thank you. And you know what, Quinn, this is not only for women that are married or moms, it's for women of wisdom. That comes from Titus 2, where now look, guys, I shed my cape. That was warm. I wanted to sparkle. I'm having my birthday, Quinn. I'm having my 69th birthday. I think it's in 2 days. My daughter's tomorrow and then I'm today. And so I thought this is the best show to do before we leave town because it's on beauty. And I went to the Lord one time and asked him, is it okay if I do beauty? Because it sounds like to some people vanity. It's not though. For one thing, the pageants, and she's going to tell you a little about it, are more than beauty because my daughter Amanda was in one. And besides that, it helps people to reach out in a way they wouldn't have had the opportunity. It gives them a platform of things they want to do. So before further ado, we got to introduce you, Quinn. I didn't get the bio. Maybe you said it, I didn't get it. So tell them about yourself and just brag on how you have a great mom and sisters.
Yeah. So like Ellen said, my name is Quinn. I'm 22 years old. I'm an Augusta native, Augusta, Georgia. I graduated from Grovetown High School in 2018, and I just graduated from the University of Georgia with my Bachelor of Arts in Political Science, and I'm so excited. I'm actually sitting next to my diploma right here. We're getting it framed, and so it's not completely framed.
That's all right. We don't do bloopers, but this is when they pause and take a breath. Are you there, Quinn? Okay. Sometimes we have technical difficulty, but I was on a show yesterday and they're like a professional and they kept freezing. Twins, no problem. We wait till you come back. Do you ever hear that show freeze and let it go, let it go? Are you back?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
Okay, perfect. Sorry. It wouldn't be Zoom without a little bit of complications. But yeah, so I moved back to Augusta after I graduated, and my platform, my social impact initiative as Miss Augusta, is allying against Alzheimer's disease. That's what it was formerly known as. Now it's amplifying Alzheimer's awareness, because I've noticed that awareness of this disease is not where it should be. Not a lot of people are aware of, they might be aware of the disease, but not the underlying factors and the causes and the warning signs. So that's what my heart is really passionate about and what I've been working on since I've been back. A little bit, I guess that's kind of like a good little gist of me. I'm sure that you have more questions, Ellen, I don't want to give too much away.
I'm just thinking, I'm thinking this. What made you think of going for this particular platform? I know the answer, but I'm not going to answer.
Yeah, so my mother, of course, and as you said, I should brag on her a little bit. She's incredible. She's an amazing woman. I wouldn't be half the woman I am today without her. She used to work in memory care facilities and assisted livings throughout Augusta. And that's one of the things that whenever my sisters and I were really young, it would be kind of like a family outing. We would go and hang out with her and volunteer at the assisted living facilities. And it was just the most fun meeting these individuals and being able to kind of socialize with them and provide them not even really like a service, but just like a human connection, because that's something that it can be kind of remiss in areas like assisted living facilities, just because there are so many individuals and just not enough people that are caring for them. And so that was something really cool that kind of strengthened our familial bond, but also now I look back and I'm so thankful that my mom was able to provide us with those opportunities, because it really did kind of give me something that I don't have too much of a like familial connection to, but I do have a personal connection to it. And so it's something that I can be extremely passionate about, while still having a little bit of a sense of, I don't want to say detachment, but kind of like that. Like, it's not too intense for me, but it is so important to me. That makes sense.
Wow. Is that, I don't know what that is. It's on your house is my voice. That's my voice, by the way. We have an echo in the name of Jesus. We're going to continue on. And so there we go. I was going to say is that I think it's such an important thing for the elderly, even if they don't have to see little people, it's both and y'all are, then you're not afraid of, like one of my grandchildren told me, I'm afraid of elderly people. I go, well, we're really here to stand Papa. But the thing is, it is true. Sometimes kids have different kinds of fears, and that helps y'all and helps them. It actually heals the soul. I believe in love can heal. Now we still need doctors and vitamins and prayer, of course, but I believe love heals the soul. And I was going to ask for real, I want them to know, because our show, I want to put on the show mostly because I think this is a great opportunity for her and for me, because I happen to love that fact that someone would even enter a pageant. There's a lot to it, ladies. It's not just like a piece of cake, because then you don't even eat cake that month. But it is a big deal, and it's a huge commitment. So I want to ask, why do you think you decided to enter the pageant, and then what is there for other women out there?
Yeah, so the reason that I decided, the way that I got Miss Augusta, the title of Miss Augusta, is a little bit untraditional in the fact that I first competed at UGA in the Miss University of Georgia scholarship competition. And my good friend, Carson Pennington, she was Miss Georgia last year, and she helped select homecoming court at UGA. And I was fortunate enough to be nominated and selected for homecoming court. And we have a lot in common, and we have a lot of different connections. And so I approached her after, during homecoming week, after all of the judging and selecting was done. And I told her that I was so excited to meet her. I mean, she was Miss Georgia, and also that we do have all of these things in common. She's also an Augusta native, and we have some family, friends, and stuff in common. And so just being able to meet her was awesome. But she told me that my interview would translate really well into the Miss America organization interviews. And so I had been thinking about competing at Miss UGA for a couple of years. This was my senior year when all of this was going down. Just because the scholarship money is really great. And it also just seemed like something fun to do. Yep. And I love to dance, and I really wanted to dance again. And
which field of dance? Might be an echo. What field of dance did you have? What field of dance was yours? What field of dance? You been to ballet, jazz?
So I did lyrical at my competition. Very pretty, very light. But I really wanted to do that again, because I used to be a competitive dancer where I did everything. But so she recommended that I compete at Miss UGA. And so I did, and I finally had the time and the energy and the resources to. And so I did it my senior year, and I ended up coming in 4th runner-up, and Miss Congeniality, which Miss Congeniality, it's a really great title to have. It's like all the other women in the competition vote on one woman, and they voted for me. And so that was really exciting. And I just had the best time, and all the women I met were so incredible. And so they, after this competition, I heard about the digital sweeps competition, which because of COVID, they didn't have as many of the preliminary competitions for Miss Georgia as they were planning on having. And so they ended up offering this digital sweeps competition for women who couldn't compete at other preliminaries because of COVID. And so I entered that, and they ended up awarding me the title of Miss Augusta, and thus starts my year of service.
It is service, y'all. It's not just, and the thing about it is, I want to bring in Esther, she knows that later, but the thing is, if your daughter is, it's a scholarship and you have to have good grades, I'm sure, right? Because I know the ones that have been in, and that you also have to have some talent and you have to have a heart for others, because it's a lot goes into it. Esther was actually at the beauty parlor that the king provided for 3 years just to try to beautify herself. She's already beautiful as is Quinn. But shows is the beauty on the inside, shows on the outside. So another reason why I had her come on was to talk to moms about it's okay to present your best foot forward. No one wakes up and goes, I want to look really bad today. I sure don't. My husband will tell you, I look not like this with these earrings, because these are my talking to Quinn today. But the thing is, I try to look my best for my husband, because God gave me a good man, and I want to present myself the best I can be to him. And so being a queen and competing, there's a lot to it. And look what the award she won. To me, is that's the highest award of all, is being Miss Congeniality. Because if you're just in it to win it, and you're like, everyone out of the way, and here I come, I'm the queen. Well, I'm thinking you wouldn't win the heart of the king or win the title of Miss Augusta. So tell more about that. Wasn't it fun meeting all the people? Because I was a flight attendant, and when I go places, new towns or churches, the people I'm compatible with are either cheerleaders or stewardesses, flight attendants, because they are taught to love everyone, be friendly to everyone, and not be in there just for, want to hear about me. So I think that's super. I really do. And your mom is also very friendly too. And it's a gift. It is a gift. Some people are afraid to say, hey, how you doing? So Quinn, tell about that. Was it the fun of meeting the girls? Do you have any special stories you can tell? Because I love stories on my show. I love when that's the whole show, and all they remember is the story about, I don't know, whatever it was.
Yeah, absolutely. So, every woman that I met is so incredible. And I think that one of the cool things that I like to talk about is that when I was maybe 14, 15, 16, watching Miss America, I would never understand why the women who didn't win were so excited for the woman who won. I was like, they lost. Like, why are they so excited? But I'm getting chills just thinking about it. Truly being up on that stage and watching the woman who wins win. It's one of the most insane experiences, because you get to watch someone realize their dream. And then also it's just like you learn so much from these women throughout the week. And so if you don't know, Miss Georgia is an entire week, like a little over a week, actually. You go up, you unpack in a dorm, and you live in a dorm for a whole week. And with me just graduating, it felt like I was going back to freshman year again.
Little closets, small closets, right? Small closets.
Oh, so small. And it's like you're coming in with, it's so funny because you're coming in with all these clothes and all this stuff, and you're like in this little dorm. And but it's so incredible. Columbus State University actually provides that housing for us. So it's really, really awesome of them to do so. But one of my favorite, like, I guess, anecdotes from throughout the week is I stayed with, like, in my little dorm, you have a roommate and then you have suite mates. So there's 2 bedrooms in a dorm room, or I guess in like a little apartment. And I stayed with the 3 of the girls that I stayed with all competed at Miss University of Georgia with me. We all ended up winning titles and getting to compete at Miss Georgia. And so my roommate was actually Miss University of Georgia, Audrey Kittela, who is one of the, oh no, she's amazing. She's one of the smartest, most talented people that I know. And her talent is incredible. She does a violin and spoken, or like singing, like, talent to The Devil Went Down to Georgia. And it is so cool. And so she was amazing, and she was just so kind. And it was really great having her as a suite mate, or as a roommate, honestly, because she just is such a great individual. And she, like, would pray for me, pray for her suite mates. She just is an amazing woman. And then my other suite mates, Elaine Metcalf and Carson Bridges, they were both in Miss UGA too. Elaine was Miss Empire of the South, and Carson was Miss Southern Heartland, which is so specific for her. She has such this sweet Southern accent. It's the most adorable voice ever, but she is such a force to be reckoned with, as is Elaine. I mean, just I couldn't have asked for a better group to stay with that week, but just all of the women, so incredible, so passionate about their causes, but also so goofy. Like they, like when you see them without their makeup, or even with their makeup and with their hair all done and with all the outfits on, I mean, they're just so incredibly funny and kind. And I am so lucky that I was able to get to know all of them. And backstage, this is probably more of a specific story. The room that I was in, because you get your own dressing, well, you don't get your own dressing room, you share with about 6 other women, depending on like the size of the room that you get. Jillian Higgins, who is Miss Greater Columbus, she was in my dressing room, and she is so funny, like probably one of the funniest people that I met that week. And she has this incredible Dora the Explorer voice. It's actually kind of terrifying, and she'll just come up behind you and start talking in that voice. And that just kind of demonstrates how, like, no matter how intense it gets, which it does get incredibly intense, it's not just about competition for these girls. It's very much a women empowerment and like just building that sisterhood kind of thing. It's really incredible. And I don't think I've ever been around a group of women that big where it's been so empowering and just amazing and all. So yeah, that was a little bit about the women that I was with and how incredible that week was. I just can't even explain how life-changing it was to be there.
That's what I like to pick up on. I like to pick up on the fact that they were for one another, women. If you want to be empowered, you want to be used by the Lord, be for one another. Don't like behind each other's back or like knife them when they're not looking, because that hurts. I'm serious. That was a good one. The one gal prayed with her. I thought, that's different than in the day. You know, things are changing. Women know that, the ones that know that their strength comes from God alone, and that character counts more than a pretty face. When I was younger, Quinn, I was really about, beauty, because my mom always, oh, you're beautiful, all that beauty stuff that we are fed sometimes by the world, or people don't really know that beauty is fleeting. It's deceptive, and beauty is fleeting. But however, I had this neighbor. I was a young mother. I had two little children. I think or one. And I went next door. I just moved in. I met her, and the kids were playing. And I said, one of her daughters was so beautiful. You would have said, man, she is so beautiful. And her other daughter was beautiful too. But it was like, you meet those ones, you go, whoa. And I was formed that way. And she goes, in my home, it's not a pretty face that counts, but a pretty heart instead. And I was so touched when I even say it or write about it. I think this is a word, ladies. Train up your children, because they have to face this world. And I just think that the character will show, and that even if someone doesn't have the most attractive hair. I mean, mine is today. I just had my hair done by Dee yesterday, not for the show because I'm going out of town, my 69th birthday. But however, even if your hair or your eyes, or you don't like your nose, whatever it is, beauty is fleeting. So train them up in the way of the Lord. And don't you wish, Quinn, that the government, I mean, I don't want to talk about government because, I don't know much about it, but you said they all work together. They all were excited about their own cause. And when someone won, they're all excited for the other guy. That's not how it is. And even in real life, like you wanted a boy and you get a girl or whatever it is in motherhood, they may go like, wait, and she's got the girl, and look, I got the boy. I was ecstatic for whatever I had. To be honest, I was, especially in that kind of thing. But you just be happy for what you got. Contentment with peace is great gain. It's the way to go. Like whatever comes your way, like start the day and say, Lord, this is your day. I surrender all, and whatever comes my way, I rejoice. And so even if trials come, now that's hard for a lot, especially young people, but there are going to be trials. And then you can look back on days that were good, days that you wore the crown. Now, a woman wears a crown every day. She does. I'm put my crown just for you, because I know mine is not as nice as hers. Like every woman wears a crown every day. And you have to see through that pretty face or maybe not so pretty attitude, and just see them that God loves them all best. And he gives the crown upon our head, and we'll present it to Jesus Christ in the end. So too much about religion, but I'm going to talk about my book later because it's called The King's Crown. But so Quinn, I have more questions. I'm full of questions, and you're good on answers. That's perfect. So did you keep, I hope that you keep the bond with these sisterhood for life. I do. Sometimes you meet people and they're like your mom. I'll never forget her. We're friends. We have a big age difference, her and I. She's much younger. But I think my mind, I think she's my age. And we will always have that bond because we in what the way the Lord had us set up together in like in working. I was a preschool teacher, but it was really called daycare. Not daycare, it was like Mother's Day Out. And she was at the head of it. And so I was always will love her back then. She did a great job. But the thing is, you meet people and then they're once lifetime friends, and some you meet and they're just for a season. But please remember what she said, be all for each other, and don't, pray for each other. If you think of the person, pray for them. We want to hear about, I love that you talked about your ministry, which is the older people and loving them up, and then love to talk the pageant. And I would like you to just address, if you can, because I gave you the preamp on this one, tell women out there what you think about little girls and how, because there is a lot of competition. See, she was in a competition, but no one's competed against each other. Everyone's for each other. So life is not a competition. It's a race against yourself, trying to seek the Lord with all your heart, eyes on Jesus, and lead others heavenward. You're not in competition to do it better or worse. If you do it worse, may someone lend a hand, help you up instead of push you down. But tell what you say to women, because there's a lot of moms out there and they don't know, sometimes they don't know how important their job is. You're forming the next generation. You're forming them well, or else the TV and the world, the flesh and devil will form them for you. You got to form them well. So what do you think about the women and like all the ways that you're formed in character, things you remember, whatever?
So I think that I'm really lucky because my mom is so incredible, and she's always raised us on just being kind to others and being a good person regardless. And so it's kind of been second nature to me to be kind and to treat everyone the way I want to be treated, the golden rule. And so it just makes it so much easier when you're surrounded by an uplifting group of people who also are acting the same way. I think that one of the biggest ways that you can preserve that characterization of being a kind individual is just like advice to moms. I'm not a mom myself, but just from what my mom, has told me, from what my mom has told me and has taught me, just being kind is so important. I mean, you never know what another individual is going through, and it's something that Carson Pennington, Miss Georgia last year, has said countless times, especially throughout that week, was that it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And that stuck with me. I mean, it's a very simple phrase, but it really is just like the holy grail of being a person that other people want to be around, and being a kind person, and being just like the individual that the Lord intended you to be, is just to treat others the way you want to be treated. Be kind, regardless of where you go in life or what you represent. I mean, with me being Miss Augusta, just being kind and being an individual that promotes kindness and cares about, being kind to others. That's so important. I mean, that's the biggest character preservation I can think of, is just always doing your actions out of kindness and never out of spite.
Like that. And so what is ahead for you? Like, what is ahead this year? Is certain things, or what does that tell them? Because they can maybe help. Like, I read the things, I say, can I help? And I'm an overcommitter, so I have to it's just my no, tell me what they can do to help, because that's important too.
No, I'm very much an overcommitter as well. So
that's my middle name. I didn't have a middle name. I go Ellen, overcommitter. Ask her.
No, I love that. It's so easy. I mean, especially in Augusta. This isn't specifically about me, but in Augusta in general, there are so many ways that you can get involved with just the ministry that every person who is trying to do something in Augusta has. I mean, there are so many different things that you can do, but specifically for me, I'm raising money for the Alzheimer's Association. I'm working with them to raise that money just because they have a very simple, very easy way of going about it. My goal is $10,000. I am currently at like 1,600, so like 1,600, which is incredible, but I am trying to get more. And then the Walk to End Alzheimer's, which is their big event where they honor Alzheimer's, the people who have passed away from Alzheimer's disease and those who have Alzheimer's and those who are caregivers to individuals with Alzheimer's. That's going to be in November, and I am incredibly excited about that. I haven't attended a walk in a couple of years. Last year, the Walk to End Alzheimer's was virtual due to the pandemic. And so it's really exciting that we're able to get back and go. And I really hope that this one is the biggest one that Augusta has had. It's going to be at the Evans Town Center Park. So really great location in Evans, Georgia. And I mean, that's what's immediately coming up. I am planning on.
What is that, Quinn? Do you have a date already?
Yes, ma'am. It's November 5th. And so essentially the Walk to End Alzheimer's is where all of the fundraising teams and individuals who have signed up to attend the Walk to End Alzheimer's, we all meet, and we have just this beautiful ceremony starting it off to honor all of those individuals that I talked about earlier that have been affected by Alzheimer's, called the Promise Garden ceremony, where each individual gets a flower representing their connection to Alzheimer's disease. It's beautiful, and they're either blue, purple, orange, and then one more color that I can't think of off the top of my head.
What does it represent? What are the blue, purple, orange? What do they represent, the colors?
So they either represent how you like it. It's each of it is how you are connected to Alzheimer's disease. And I actually
I never heard the walk. See, so I'm learning. I always learn from people. Quinn, thank you for sharing that. Keep going though. I don't want to stop you, but that's beautiful because
it's incredible.
If you're the caregiver, that's hard, and if you're the daughter that had to say goodbye, or it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing.
It is. Yeah, and I talked to Amy Richardson, who is the Senior Director of Development for Alzheimer's, for the Alzheimer's Association. I talked to her the other day about it, and she talked a little bit more about how her favorite part of being involved with the Alzheimer's Association was attending the walk and seeing that Promise Garden ceremony, because, she talked about, and I've seen this, Alzheimer's disease and dementia and Parkinson's disease. I mean, any of these memory depreciating diseases can be so isolating for everyone affected by it. And to see a group of individuals have a silent understanding and being united silently. I mean, they call each color out. So the individuals who have a purple flower are individuals who have loved ones that they've lost to Alzheimer's disease. And all of those individuals will stand up, and it's just this beautiful, mindedness of everyone that is kind of understood. And she said that's her favorite part about the whole thing, is just being able to see people that usually would feel so alienated and so alone have other individuals that they can relate to on that level. And so I'm really excited to see that kind of unification of everyone, because it is so alienating and isolating. But that's one of the reasons we do these walks, is because it truly does build that sense of togetherness, and something that can be so isolating. But so it really is a beautiful thing. And one of the main things we're working on right now with the Walk to End Alzheimer's is getting sponsors and teams for the Augusta Walk. And so, I guess that's kind of my main action items.
What would their role be? So in case someone out there wants to call, because then you could give you how to reach you in. But at the end, we have 15 more minutes, so we're going to close it off soon. But go ahead and tell them how they can get involved. They could be the team, and they would call you or call the center.
Yeah. So definitely contact me. My email is Quinn Shelt with the number 1 at gmail.com, which is QUINNSHELT.
It's all good. It's all good.
Yeah.
That's right.
And
Tell this. I want you to answer this question, and then I really want you to say something about your sisters, because Quinn's from an all-girl family. So I think that's neat. My mom had 2 girls, 2 boys, and then a baby, and my baby girl, Julie. And so I want you to mention your sisters in a minute, but if they want you to speak at their group, Quinn, or if they want to speak at their school, or how do you go about that? Is that same way contact you, or do you do speaking engagements? I think it's very important, because people have all kinds of ideas about, pageants, and they have all kinds of ideas about people. But when you meet someone, you hear their story, you can't help but applaud and say, no wonder she's Miss Congeniality. Seriously, it's embarrassing. The message you gave to me was I always say, I can't, my cape right now when you're talking, I'll get it. My superpower is kindness. I believe in it. I believe that it should be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, and overflowing, and that you meet people along the way, and they open doors for you later on, or you open doors to them, or you just learn to hear their story and love one another. It's very important. People don't have the time, Quinn, a lot of time to listen to stories, and then they may have a preconceived idea. I don't, because I knew you were fine. But say people, and then I go, oh, wow, her or him. If I say about me, Quinn, I go, come on, are you gossiping about me? So it does, you get to know their story, and you begin to say why they do what they do. For instance, like about the Alzheimer's, why she led that. I have a book out that's coming out. It's going to be on Amazon soon. I used to show it early, but it's called For the Mountaintop, and it's about a journey I took with my girlfriends on retreat for 30 years. Now, see, we had to take the journey first before I could write the book. Well, Quinn's taking a journey now. She really doesn't know where it's going to lead, because I'm getting ready to ask her where she's going to what she's going to do with her degree, but it's going to lead places. And so if you can just, if you're in a journey right now and you're going on an uphill battle, face that mountain and walk it. You don't know what it's going to lead to. It's changing on the inside. Some seasons are better than others. That's what there's a time for every season under heaven. But this season sounds like a good one. Ben, what do you think?
Oh no, I completely agree. It's been a very I've learned so much about myself and about the world around me throughout this season, and I just couldn't be more grateful. It's been incredible.
And I'm grateful too for you, but tell them what you're going to do with your degree. So what are you going to do with your degree? Are you going to go for your master's, or are you going to go for, I don't know, what are you going to do with your degree?
I'm planning on going to law school. So I do want to practice in the Southeast. So I'm planning on going to a school in the Southeast. And I want to be a family law attorney, which is just, I feel like there's a certain level of empathy and kindness that you have to be able to go into that kind of law. And so I really hope that those qualities that I feel I possess will translate well. But yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm taking a gap year so that I can rest.
Yeah, of course. I think I used to call it a Heidi year for people, that like a sabbatical year, or Heidi, where you take a year and you you're giving out, then you rest up, but you also soul search, and you it's kind of a fun thing to do. I don't know. I took a Heidi year a couple times because Heidi was that, little character in her children, and she was really, really tired. They sent her to grandpa's house and she couldn't even walk. And then she walked because she rested. Rest is very important. The scripture that I love, Quinn, is Psalm 23. He makes me lie down in green pastures to restore my soul. And people think it's only about death, but no, it's so about life. Like, the Lord's my shepherd, I shall not want. She's content in the role she's playing. She's content in her season. There's so much to that scripture. So anybody out there that wants to do a study, put that scripture with Esther and see how God used her, and use that scripture in her life, because she didn't know that scripture or quote it in her word, but she rested and went to the beauty parlor for 3 years, restored, and then went forth and won the heart of the king. So tell your sisters' names, because I feel like I want to have that on the show.
Yeah, absolutely. So Emma Kate is 20 years old. She is currently attending cosmetology school to become a master cosmetologist. She is incredibly talented. It's insane. I don't know how she colors my hair. It's incredible. Oh no, she's awesome. I'm so lucky that I have her. So she is right under me. I'm the oldest. And then Leah is 18 years old. And so she's about to leave to go to college at Piedmont University. She's going for lacrosse. She got a lacrosse scholarship. So we're so proud of her, but we're going to miss her a lot. And then Layton, the youngest, she is 13 years old. She's in 8th grade. And she's definitely the baby. Love her to death.
There's a role for everything, and I have an echo today, but that's okay. Yes, I like that. And so it's fun to have all sisters, and then some people have all brothers. I always say to my husband, I wish you had a sister, because having a sister changes you, that when you're a guy, but having all sisters has its benefits too. So I have 4 boys and 4 girls, and that's a full house. One of my babies is in heaven. But so we're gonna kind of talk about a little bit more about how do you think this pageant has changed you, even from the beginning? Because it does. It's a life-changing thing. Anything you do in your life that moves you from one point to another. Like I was a flight attendant, so I moved from the north to Louisville, Georgia, with my parents, and I had not. It was like a small town, and I had to do something different, and I just went off to Miami to become a flight attendant. It changed me forever. I didn't do it that long, but a new season does change you, and then you learn some things, and you learn some things about yourself, like you said. But how did it change you to think, Leah? I mean, Leah, Quinn. I never did that before, but Quinn.
So I very much, prior to being Miss Augusta, I definitely thought of myself as an extrovert, but becoming Miss Augusta has made me realize that I'm very much an introvert. I'm an extroverted introvert. So
that's what I'm too. Yeah. I think there should be a new category. Will someone write that book? Because I'm waiting to read it. It's got to be a category. You know why? Because you're giving out so much. I'm an extrovert introvert because I give out so much, and then I have to pull back because I also write and quiet my soul to pray. Yeah, that's good. That's a good realization. Everyone isn't that. Some are really, really introverts, and some are really, really extroverts. They like people all the time, and then me, a little less noise.
Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting because I do love doing speaking engagements and meeting new people and all of that, but it has really been a little bit of a struggle for me, and that's something I wasn't expecting, just because I did always picture myself as being an extrovert, and it does not come as naturally. It's grown on me since the beginning. I love doing it, but it's always something that I do have nerves about, and I kind of have to overcome them right before I jump out of the car and walk into wherever I'm going. But it truly does.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
No, absolutely.
You have to prepare what you're going to say, and then you get up there. I don't know that I think it's very healthy. I think it's maturity in a way that I just learned that about myself, being introvert extrovert, though, because I never was without people. And I went to Florida, was alone so much that I realized I do need that alone time to hear God's voice, if nothing else. So what?
No, it's so worth it to make that realization, especially since I'm 22 years old, kind of figuring that out now. I know that as much as I love to be around people, I also do love that alone time. And it's so hard though, because I want to go around and do everything all the time. And so realizing that I do have to take that time is a little difficult for me, but definitely a great realization. And I have great resources. I mean, my mom is exactly the same way I am. She's going all the time. And so I've kind of learned from her, like, how much it takes to like realize that you have to chill for a sec. And so I don't know, I guess that's like one of the main things that I've realized over this past year. It's been a really good lesson for me to learn, because I do always like to be going. And so I realized though that I do have to take a breath. And so, yeah.
That's good. Tell the women out there that are going like, man, I would like to be Miss Augusta or Miss Universe. Tell them, is there a sign up? And I don't know when you became, I don't even know. See, I'm new back to Augusta Quinn. So fill them in on that, because what they have to do, some preparation things and how they would do it and what ages and all that. Like,
Yeah. So the Miss Georgia Scholarship Organization is incredible. It's actually the CEO, Trina Pruitt's birthday today too. So yeah, no, she's amazing. And so she's an incredible resource. She's very easy to reach to, but if you contact the Miss Georgia Scholarship Organization, just go to their website. All of the information is on there. So they do have preliminary competitions, which have already started. One of my great friends, Sarah Jane Houston, just won Miss Warner Robbins, and another incredible woman. Oh no, she's amazing. It's incredible. But another woman, Sarah Stallings, won Miss International City, who's also incredible. And so that just occurred. Miss Cobb County is coming up this weekend, but there are so many other competitions throughout the year. And they're also going to have the digital sweeps competition, which is how I got the title of Miss Augusta this year as well. So just for any more information, definitely go to the Miss Georgia Scholarship Organization website, or I would love to speak to anyone who's interested. It's truly an amazing organization, and I've learned so much about myself, as I stated, and just like the world around me. And I've been able to accomplish so much about what I care deeply for throughout these past couple of months. And I'll have this title until the end of February, beginning of March. And so I still have so much time to make an impact. And yeah, it's super fun, super worth it. I would say don't let the connotations or the denotations of pageantry scare you away, because it really is such a new, it's really so much more about confidence and leadership and building up the woman that you are now than it has ever been.
It's all about you're doing what you're called to do, like she's called to help the unlovable sometimes. Okay, so I'm gonna let you sum up what you think the show is about for you. The last thought, that this is my newest book. I don't know if y'all can see, I put it different places. Who will wear the crown? Because you know, Jesus has a crown for us, like I said earlier, and he puts on our crown, it's invisible. He puts jewels on our crown. And at the end, we die. We don't keep the crown, wear it. We present it to him. Holy, holy, holy. And we say, Lord, because of what you did for us, we give you our crown full of jewels. And so she's kind of putting jewels in her crown by doing for others, being kind and being loving. And that's very, very important. Never, I mean, if you're listening to the show today, please let the younger generation hear this. The young people, she's in her 20s, some are in their teens. Let them listen to the show. There's a lot of fruit on the show that I would like them to put a seed in their heart of and grow and learn from it. And so I just thank you so much, Quinn, for coming on the show. And my crown isn't as pretty, and because I'm not going to pay, I'm just going to wear it as we close. Because some on Zoom, they'll put my picture on. It'll be something I do goofy, like, oh, you know? So I give opportunities like Zoom. You have this opportunity. And then the thing is, every day, you know, go before the Lord, present yourself the best you can be, and touch a life for Christ, for heaven's sakes. He gives you fruit and gifts and your superpower and your cape and all that to give to others. It's not for yourself. So thank you so much. Could you tell me at the end here what your special thing to sum up the show is, and then how they can reach you, even though you said it before, just to let them know?
Yeah, so like to sum up this specific show or the show in general?
No, what do you think that you want these women to listen to the show and then take home this one nugget? I always call it.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, so I think I just really want listeners to take home the golden rule of kindness. Treat others how you want to be treated. I mean, being kind is so much more important than so many other things. And I think that that's something that today's world has kind of gotten rid of, done away with. I mean, it's just doesn't seem to be as important now as it used to be. So yeah.
So thank you so much for being on the show. And I want to say this: if someone's crown is kind of crooked and like their hair is in their face, I mean, don't kick it over. So it's like on their nose. Help them adjust their crown. If they're having a bad day, say, you know, what can we do? Maybe we should have lunch today. Think of a way that you can adjust their crown, because every woman and every man has something that you need to hear and something that they need to hear from you. Learn something from everyone. Everyone can learn something from you. And sometimes it's just a smile. So we end with a smile and a wave. I'm practicing my wave. Okay. I was going to be Miss Senior. I was going to try out for Miss. There's a Senior Georgia pageant. I thought I could so do that, but I didn't do it. So this last time I was in town. But these are things that maybe you thought you wouldn't have wanted to enter. You never know. God can do something with one yielded vessel, a whole bunch. So this is Ellen Mongan from Wow Mom. I loved having Quinn Shelt on the show, and I think it was great. And I hope that y'all listen again and tell a friend, and have a great day. I hang up on Zoom right away because I used to talk to them. They would film what I was saying, like, oh, but it was Okay, so have a great day, y'all. This is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad. Be a blessing to someone new today. And I'm going to stop the show right now. Bye.